Hi friends, welcome. I'm Robin with Sydney Simple Designs. If you see the live light, you have caught me live. If not, you're watching the replay. Please type in hashtag replay, say hello. Let me know if you're new so I can welcome you to my page. I like to always welcome the new friends. I don't like to call people followers. I like to call you friends. So, anyway, hope you're all having a lovely day today. Let me get myself shared out here while I'm waiting. Sorry if it's loud. I have my windows open. Hello, Miss Tracy. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day. Mine was busy. Catching up on some things that needed to get done. Hi, Griselda. How are you today, Griselda? I hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day. Thank you all for coming in. Hi, Diane. How are you? Good to see you today. Sometimes doing this is a task, but hi, Glow. How are you today? How is everybody? Hi, Karen. Well, welcome, Karen. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I hope you like what you enjoy the live today, and we'll come back, hit that follow button. This is my segment in Craft Around the Clock today. I had some things I had to get done yesterday. That's why I canceled my spot. I'm good. Hi, Glenna. How are you? Anyway, so thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I don't know if Cindy's still on or not. She was working on her project still. So these are Happy Tuesday. Hello, Pam. Our wood shims. Hi, Susan. Wood shims. And they're the 8-inch wood shims. And I'm going to make some watermelon slices. I don't know, hi Doreen, if I've not seen anybody make watermelon slices out of the wood shims, but that does not mean anything. So, but I just thought it would be cute. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how these are gonna turn out. So this was what I almost did on Friday, but I didn't have enough wood shims. I did use a package and a half to get this size glued together. One package, well, where I got mine at Menards, a package of the 8-inch, there are 12 wood shims in a package. So I used, yeah, that plus half of another package. So there's 18 wood shims. Hi, Jeannie, how are you? That I glued up to get this. And like I said, these are the 8-inch, but they also come in 12, and I think 16 inch, so you could make any, you know, you could make a big one, a little one, and group them together. I chose to just do the smaller ones. So, and I may not get to both of them, so, but we're gonna get going. I'm going to be using, and I don't know if it's gonna work. We're gonna give it a try. It may be too warm for me to do this, but I thought to paint the green on here and then take some white, and while the green was wet, maybe blend it together to get that kind of white. But I don't know, we'll see. It's kind of warm here today, and I don't have my air on. I'm like, I really don't want to turn it on. It's too early in the year to turn it on. Hi Denise, how are you? All right, so I am using AFK chalk paint, which is an Afraid Not chalk paint by, you know, Nicole with Afraid Not. She makes her own chalk paint, and these paints that I'm using are from her. And this green is called Cactus. I am an affiliate for her, so if you just hit the little links down there, her link is in there. If you hit the little chains down there by the comments, her link is in there. If not, you can go to my link tree, and her link tree's in there. So if you want to go check her paints out, they are wonderful. I really like her chalk paint. So we're going to start off with the cactus, and I'm going to go ahead and pour the white. And I'm using, it's called actually Angel. It's not white, it's more of a creamy color. Hi Alita, how are you? And I probably poured out way too much paint, but that seems to be what I do. All right, just pour a little bit of that out. And I'm gonna get another brush, and we're gonna try this. Like I said, I don't blend very often, so this may be a, this may not work out well for me. I don't know. We will see. So I just took a chalk pencil and I drew a line just to give me kind of an idea of where I want to put the green part. And then I'm just gonna, thank you Jamie for sprinkling. Your little project turned out so cute. And yeah, down this side and around the front. And I'm just gonna kind of just make a thin white line above that. So that's why I just kind of wanted a general starting place. I'm not gonna, so what I might do here, because it is kind of warm, it went from cold to hot overnight here in Iowa. It was crazy. But I don't mind. I was not liking the cold. So I got that green there on. And so what I was gonna do, I've got a thinner brush, and I'm just gonna go right up against, maybe, we're gonna see if I can kind of blend. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work. Kind of blend this. Like I said, I'm not good with this blending thing. I'm not very good at it. I need to practice more is what I need to do. So I'm just kind of going along that green edge and kind of painting along it. And actually, it's working out pretty good. And then going up. Just like that. So it blended pretty good. And that's what I'm going for right there. And hopefully I can get all of them to look like that. So I'm just going to paint along. So I got my grandson called yesterday. it was his day, well, not his day off, but they were moving in, and he called me and chatted for a little bit. And he now has 2 children. He's 5, and what his children are Jeff and Harold, and they're Highland cows. They're just 2 little baby stuffed Highland cows. And his sister, Peyton, has the mom. She has a bigger one, and her name is Carol. Anyway, he had to show me them. But he went looking for them, and he couldn't find them. And he hunted and hunted, and he got upset. So he was asking his mom, and my daughter was looking. Well, then my daughter remembered that the day before, Sawyer had put Harold and Jeff in timeout because they got his room dirty and they wouldn't clean it up. And so he put him in timeout for 30 minutes. And so that's why they couldn't find him. I cracked up. So I asked him, I said, so when they got, you didn't make them clean the room? No, they wouldn't do it. I tried. I was like, okay. But my daughter and son-in-law had, of course, have an Alexa that they use. And they, of course, they just moved, and they put in a security system in where they moved. And I guess the security system they put in is not compatible with the Alexa. So they had to switch over to a Google. And she was asking me if we wanted her Alexa. Hi, Lori. Hi, Mary. And I said, well, I'll ask your dad, but we have Google. So I'm gonna add, maybe if I add a little bit of water here, because I'd like that to blend a little more, but we'll see. And yes, the painting expert is on here, Jeannie. I hope I'm doing well. I said, well, but let me ask your dad if he wants it. And Sawyer tells me, oh, Alexa's awesome. She tells you the joke of the day. She makes fart noises. She's just amazing. It's like more reason to have Alexa, right? So I went a little high with the green on this side, or that line, so we're gonna kind of take it. Hi, Kelly, how are you? Are you having fun with your granddaughter? I said, so you sold me on it, huh? Just the fact that it does all that makes me want to have it. Sawyer, thank you for sprinkling, Ruby. Now, wouldn't that make you guys want to have an Alexa, just the fact that it, you know, tells you the joke of the day and makes fart noises, right? Just what everybody needs in their life. I just laughed. He's a character. And we wound up with a mini fridge from our neighbor. He worked for Land O'Lakes. And when he retired, he wound up he worked in their labs at Land O'Lakes. Hi, Sharon. And when he retired, he wound up with one of their little small fridges. And yes, I know, Diana, doesn't he? He just amazes me. to think that 2 Highland cows were his kids. Just sometimes. The way his brain sometimes works. The way she laughs. Oh, yes, Sharon, ours will make comments off the wall every now and then, and my husband and I kind of look at each other like, okay, why did she do that? Why did that happen? I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't talking to it. Now this one, I went up a little higher on this, so we're gonna see. I think we're gonna go right there. I'm gonna try and do the same thing on this one. But, so anyway, he had taken it out to a gentleman. He used to help a gentleman out on his farm, and the guy had chickens, and they stored some of the eggs in it and things. Well, of course, this gentleman passed away, and the wife is moving out of their home. And so our neighbor went and got it and asked if we wanted it. And my husband said, sure, we'll take it. And we brought it in the house and to put like soda and like extra stuff, you know. And I said, well, you know, you have a mini fridge, honey. He says, I do? I said, yeah, you have a mini fridge. Well, a few years back, we did one year that we did Christmas with our kids when all 3 of our kids were living here. We did like a white elephant exchange that year, and everybody had to spend a certain amount of money on a gift, and you could buy whatever gift, a nice gift, a gag gift, whatever, because it was going to be a, you know, a white elephant thing. Well, my husband wound up with a mini fridge. Well, it was just like big enough to hold a 6-pack of soda. And he says, I do? I said, yeah, you've had it for quite a while. It's sitting still in the box in the basement. Really? No, I don't. I said, yes, you do. I said, you don't remember getting that? I said, because the kids were joking with you because you didn't know what you were going to do it, and they were joking with you, telling you that you could put it in your bedroom and put your soda and snacks. So if you got up in the middle of the night for a midnight snack, you'd have it in there. He says, I don't remember. So I had to go to the basement and get it and bring it up. He says, man, I don't remember getting this. I says, I can't believe you don't remember this. I said, because your kids razzed you all night about it. Well, he wound up taking it to our oldest son to put in his shop for soda and stuff. This got dry before I could kind of blend that, so I don't know. There we go. So I just dipped my brush in a little bit of water and kind of am blending that to get that effect that I want. And it's working out pretty good. Like I said, I'm not good at this. I don't do this very often, but I'm kind of happy with it, considering. So now we have a little, like, fridge here in the house, and like I needed another fridge. He does have a full-size fridge in his shop and freezer. Somebody he worked with when he was working was gonna get rid of it and asked if my husband wanted it, and he's like, well, sure, I'll take it. I'll put it in my shop. We got one that he thought he was going to put in his shop, and I believe it's from the 50s. It's an old ice box, and it didn't work. And my husband, we didn't want to get rid of it because of the age, but we didn't know what we were going to do with it. Well, I don't have a lot of cabinets in my kitchen, so we turned it into a pantry, and I love it. So I have an old fridge that is my pantry, and we use the vegetable drawer in it, of course, is glass, and I even use it in there. But we took the racks out of it. He took all the guts out of it. Yeah, he built like an wood insert in there, and put it in there and turned it into my pantry. And then the drawer sits on one of the shelves in there, and I put things in it and can, pull it out. So, like I said, this is not perfect, but I'm not sad about it. Like I said, considering I don't do this very often, this little shading, I'm happy with it. I'm sorry, guys, for the traffic noise. I apologize. All right, so there's that much of them. And, all right, I've got to be done at 2:15. So let's get this paint, because like I said, I poured way too much paint out. I should take a picture of it again. I posted a long time ago on my page, but I know I have a lot of new followers now that have probably never seen it. And it really is kind of cool how he turned that. Now, it also has a big, I don't know, where the motor was, is kind of empty now. There's nothing there. And my husband is supposed to someday make a drawer for that, so I can use that too. So there's like from the floor up, there's probably this much space that there's nothing, but there's nothing in the fridge because he took all the motor and everything out. And he said he was gonna build a drawer so that I could have a drawer in there, so it wasn't just wasted space. But he's not quite sure how he's going to do that, and I think that's why it hasn't been built yet. But we'll see. But I did post. Hi, Michelle. How are you today? What was I saying? Oh, I am posting pictures on there. My middle son, the one I talked to you guys about, that's the artist, they had a tree in their yard that I don't know if when they moved, I think when they moved in, it was just like maybe this much of the tree. It fell over or something. It was dead. Anyway, instead of cutting it all the way down, he decided to leave it, and he's carved it. He's carved a face in it. And it's really cool looking. I'm going to dry this, make sure this is dry. And I posted a picture. Well, it'll be there in a little bit. I scheduled a post for it to be there so you guys can see it, because it really turned out cool. He's still working on it, but so far it looks pretty amazing. All right, so I'm using Holly Berry for the red part. And then I'm probably just going to do polka dots. Is usually what I do for the seeds. I'm not quite that talented to draw seeds, watermelon seeds. So I do polka dots for my seeds. All right, let's get a paintbrush. Yeah, this will work. So I maybe should have, let me see. Let me start off with a smaller brush right here. And I'm gonna need my glasses so I can see. Hi Peggy, how are you? All right. Because I don't wanna, I just wanna go to this line here. And I guess I could have blended that. No, I don't want to do that. Never mind. I hope you guys had a nice... I spent yesterday, I had so many boxes. And they were all kind of small boxes. And I finally decided I really need to go through them and get rid of the ones that I wouldn't be using for shipping. And yeah, I got a little overrun. So I spent part of my day yesterday doing that. And, oh, guys, I'll be having bed springs that I'll be offering. I have an old spool bed and dresser, and it was my, I don't know, great grandparents or great great grandparents. It was like their wedding present, and it's been in the family. Well, somewhere along the line, because I did some research. Of course, they put a traditional box springs and mattress in there. And the box springs, in fact, is so old that it no longer has the covering. It's just the metal frame. And we're gonna move it out, and we don't have space because the mattress that's on there is not any good. And so my husband was going to get rid of the box springs, and I told him originally, I said, no, we're not getting rid of it, because I was thinking it was probably original to the bed. And the more I thought about it, I thought, you know, I'll bet that's not, because as old as that bed is, they wouldn't have even had metal box springs back then. So my husband's gonna take it apart for me, and we're gonna get rid of. Thank you, Pam. Hi, Jill, how are you? Off work, it's raining there, Peggy. Hi, Cindy. Those transfers are pretty that you got. Sorry your project didn't work out, though. Hopefully it'll work out for you, though. I mean, hopefully it'll transfer onto your surface, because that was pretty. And then I'm using this little brush again. Anyway, there's no reason for me to hang on to a metal box springs that's not original to the bed. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna take them apart. Okay, so there we go. So there's one of them. And then we'll paint. Our kids are still in school today. I wasn't sure when they got out. So I don't know if it's just today or if it's the rest of the week, or I don't know. Since I don't have kids in the school system, I don't know. And my grandsons don't go to school here in town. It is a pretty red. I like it. She has a couple of reds that are very pretty. I like that one. I like Glory too. Okay, and I'm gonna do this edge, and then, oops. Hi, Darlia, how are you? My husband will be gone tomorrow. He is going down to do some stuff for his dad. So he'll be gone probably till tomorrow evening. Him and a friend are gonna go down. And he's gonna put a planer together. He's gonna make a table or something for him, and then he's got like 2 or 3 projects he's gonna do for his dad. Tomorrow. So I will be home by myself, so I'm hoping to get a few more other things done. I've got to get some things, something in here. Priced and ready to take out to where I can take my crafts, since I wasn't able to do that last week. So I got to do that, and yeah. Yesterday I spent it doing that, crushing down those boxes and laundry. I had to play catch up. Hi Tamara, how are you? I just want just a little bit of paint right there, and that's done. All right, so these are both done. And I'm gonna sand these. I'm gonna give them a little bit of distressing, and then I'm gonna add the dots for our watermelon. Okay, I've got about 13 minutes. Hi, Gail. This one may be dry. Okay. So I'm just going to work on one of them. So I'm just going to get my gator sander. I probably should, well, let's see how this is going to work. Because I don't want to, I want to be careful when I sand this. I don't really want to sand the red in with the white, because it kind of, it will sometimes turn your white pink. So I'm going to try to be careful here. and just sand this part, and then sand the red part. All right. Let me get a different, change out my paper. It's kind of, there we go. And I did get another spot for tomorrow afternoon, later. And I will also be in Fun Friday this week. I wound up getting an available spot there. Okay. So not a whole lot of distressing, just a little bit. Get that edge just a little more. See, I don't want to. Okay, so just a little bit of distressing. And I'm just going to fold this. And then I'm going to just get my crazy, I'm using Crazy Crow is the color black I'm going to use. And we're going to pour a little bit out here. Just a little bit. This is kind of dangerous. All right. Probably shouldn't have done that. I took a big risk there. All right. And I am going to use, let's see. The other day I used a dowel. And it's just a little piece of dowel, actually. And I think I'm just going to use it again. And this is not the best dowel there is, but it works. And I'm just going to start adding polka dots on here for our, our seeds. Just like this. Now, I could have done buttons, you know, if you're an artist like Miss Jeannie, she could draw, I mean, she could paint little watermelon seeds, but like I said, I'm not good with that. So this is another way, you know, to do it. It works for me anyway. I'm gonna see if I can get there. I'm just kind of, thank you, Jeannie. Our daughter-in-law, my oldest son, her car, she works during the day, but her car is parked here by our house. And my husband came in and wanted to know why her car was parked there. And I said, I don't know why her car is parked there. He says, oh, she's not in the house? And I'm thinking, why would I have told you I didn't know it while I was parked there if she was in the house? It's like, think about that a minute. Okay, that looks good. I want to turn it around so you guys can see, but I don't want to stick my fingers in the wet paint. So we'll dry that. I couldn't believe you said. I like it. Quick, simple, budget friendly. Isn't that cute? I'm loving it. So I just have a little piece of lace that I've coffee grunged, and I thought I would make just a little bow and add it. But then I thought, last minute, I didn't think about it earlier, I have these wood biscuits, and I think what I'm going to do is maybe on one of them is make a little bee out of this and add it to one of them. Also, so let's see, maybe we can, I don't have a lot of time, but and this one is the smallest of 0, I believe, and then this one is the largest wood biscuit. And I like making these little cute little bees. I didn't have a way to really make a little ant, but I thought this might be cute. And I'm just using that same angel, and I'm going to paint 2 of these in that for the wings. And this is another, you know, quick idea, I guess. You know, we all like to craft, and you know, sometimes you gotta craft on a budget. And I paid, I think I got 2 packages of the wood shims, because I had to go get wood shims and paint sticks today. And I think I paid $2 for the 2 packages for the wood shims. And wood biscuits aren't that much money either. So, and you know, you can get a lot of crafts out of the wood biscuits. I'll probably never use the whole bag. Thank you, Sharon. And I'm gonna paint this. I think I'm gonna do this. Oops, what am I doing? I didn't want to go down that whole side. We're gonna paint the top. Black. And then the bottom, and I did this the other day the same way, and I was like, usually I paint it all one color and then add the stripes, but this seemed to work out okay. We'll go there, and then I'm gonna use pineapple for the yellow, and I will add that. And I will keep working on these. I probably should have added a little bow, but so I'm gonna just paint there. Like that. And make a stripe. I've got another little paintbrush the same size. And I use this. Let's try that real quick. I know I'm doing this backwards, although let me go down here and paint this, a stripe down here. Yes, the kids are out on the playground. If you can't tell, our we live on the playground side of the elementary school. All right, let me see. Okay, I got a minute. I'm probably not gonna get this done. Anyway, but you guys can see where I'm going with it. And dip the black in there. And I may have just to do just a tiny stripe right here. And these aren't perfect. You know me, I'm not too big into perfect. And we'll dry that, and I'll add the yellow. All right, guys. I don't know who's up next after me, but just stay in the group. The next presenter will be there. Thank you all for joining me, and hopefully you guys can join me. I'll be on at 3 tomorrow, like I said, and hopefully you guys can join me then. Thank you all for being here. But there's what our little watermelon slice looks like, and I will get them finished up. There are other little one finished up, and our little bee, and I will post a picture. But just how cute and simple, right? Anyway, thank you all. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the comments because I'll probably be watching and finishing up. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful, blessed rest of your day. Bye.